Okay. The mic is unmuted. Good. Let's start this whole thing all over again. All right. Real talk, men need to be more feminine. And I'm saying this because there's nothing wrong with being in touch with your inner femininity. And then a lot of us already are sort of in touch with it. It's just the level of how much we're willing to acknowledge it and how much we're willing to actually act on those things that we feel inside of us that would be considered more feminine. And I'm not saying you have to pamper yourselves to the level that women do necessarily. I mean, yeah, some of you probably should groom yourselves a little bit. One, it would help with your self-esteem. And two, I mean, just take care of yourselves in general. Like, that's just something that you should do without having to feel gay. We can talk about the physical things you could do to be more feminine, but I really want to focus on the emotional side, as I think that has a bigger part to play in our society. I'm just saying that being more feminine might help you be, one, more socially relatable. Two, it might help you actually start to empathize and understand the issues that other people might have with your behavior. And three, it just feels better. It just feels better to be able to know that you can unleash your emotional trauma, okay? You can just fucking dump that on somebody, all right? Women do that shit all the day. They just dump their emotional trauma on their friends all the goddamn time, all right? And you know what? They feel better for it. And it's probably because they don't hold on to all that shit and wait for themselves to implode upon everybody. Although some of them do. Some of them do, and those are really usually the bitchy ones, okay? Those are the Karens. But that's what we're not talking about. We're not talking about Karens right now. We're talking about men, particularly straight men, being more feminine and understanding that you can be feminine and express your emotions other than anger and still be a man, right? And it's so weird considering a lot of us grew up, in America at least, in a single mother household, right? In a single family household. I think the number for whites is like 40% grew up in a single parent household, a single mother household. And that number is like doubled for minorities, right? And it's so weird because it's like the absence of the male figure in the house has almost led to an over masculinity, which I guess you could say would be the toxic masculinity. I mean, actually, I'm not even sure what that is. So I mean, like, hold on, let me just look it up because I'm not really sure what the fuck that means. In social sciences, toxic masculinity refers to traditional cultural masculine norms that can be harmful to men, women, and society overall. This concept of toxic masculinity is not intended to demonize men or male attributes, but rather to emphasize the harmful effects of conformity to certain traditional masculine ideal behaviors such as dominance, self-reliance, and competition. Toxic masculinity is thus defined by adherence to traditional male gender roles that consequently stigmatize and limit the emotions boys and men may comfortably express while elevating other emotions such as anger. It is marked by economic, political, and social expectations that men seek and achieve dominance, or to be the alpha male. Just based off of that definition and what I was saying earlier to before I even saw or read the definition, I think that is a little true. I think that the range of emotions that boys and men can exhibit are limited to those that are usually like things that focus on anger and things that lead to wanting to be dominant and stuff like that, and super ultra competitive. Not that I think that there's anything wrong with being competitive. I think men and women should be competitive. I think ultra and over competitiveness can be harmful because it leads to people being angry and it leads to people lashing out at other people when they don't win and when they don't get their way. Trust me, I play League of Legends. I see it all the time. It's pretty fucking obnoxious. Nor do I think there's anything wrong with being self-reliant. I think that being able to rely on yourself is a pretty important trait that, once again, both men and women should have, but you should also be able to realize that sometimes you have to rely on other people. Sometimes you have to be able to be vulnerable and allow other people to help you. And another thing, don't be afraid to compliment your male friends. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Compliment your male friends. Give them assists, Tell them if they look stupid and tell them what they can do to improve on themselves, okay? Don't just give that advice with by cutting ass on them, all right? Don't just make them feel bad. Give them legitimate constructive criticism, okay? Women do this all the time, and it's because women know that confidence doesn't always and isn't always going to come from inside of you. Sometimes you need that outside perception to give you that boost of confidence, okay? Your male friends come up to you, your straight male friends come up to you and be like, hey man, you looking good today. Good shit with your fucking fade. Good job getting your hair cut up. You looking slick. like a nigga named Slickback, and you got your shoes and you dress to the nines and stuff, you know, just give your boys some well-deserved shout outs if they deserve it. And if they don't deserve it, tell them that they could probably do these 5 steps, you know, to get to that point so that they can deserve some like, ooh, you look like a spicy tamale right now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't be afraid to compliment your friends. I really can't stress that enough. It's bad enough when you feel uncomfortable saying I love you to your guy friends, especially guy friends that you've known for a while who have actually been there for you, and guy friends that you've actually opened up to, because not because you wanted to, but because they found you like really emotional or crying about some shit either happening in your personal life that they don't know about or happening with some girl or some guy, whoever, like I said, whatever. Okay? I kiss my male friends. Gay. I molest my male friends. Some of them have some nice booties. I don't know. You just gotta touch them. You know, get a little touch in there. It's okay. It's okay to be friends. It's okay to be just fucking around and joking around and just being outwardly weird and homosexual with your friends, even if you aren't homosexual, because it's funny. It's fun. Don't be afraid to touch people. Wait. That's a 10 out of 10. I don't know if that's making the cut. I don't think that's making the cut. Jesus. But seriously, the way we consider roles in our society are a little obsolete, okay? We live in the 21st century. Half of the things that we used to do in order to make a society work are no longer necessary, and you could argue that some of those ways were never necessary in the first place. There is no longer a need for women to be subservient to men in order for protection or housing or a family and things like that. It's not necessary. Not to shit on that lifestyle. People can totally live that way if they want. But I'm saying that because we live in the new millennium, because we live in the 21st century, and the way things are with the human race and how we've changed and progressed socially as a fucking race, there are definite things that need to be left by the wayside. I think the identity of the man itself is threatened by the fact that emotional vulnerability is something that can harm them. I think that that is a absolute falsehood. I think being able to express yourself emotionally and being able to unleash your emotional baggage and make sure that you're not holding on to it would help mentally. It would just help overall with your mental health and just in general with how you are perceived by others. Because then people can actually relate to you, be empathetic, and feel compassionate towards you, and you them. And that is the real talk. Guys, let me see you grit those teeth and like and subscribe the video. Leave a comment if you have anything to say to me, whether you agree or disagree, and I'll get back to you. Join the Discord, which will be in the link down below, and you can find me at any time on Twitter or Twitch live, and I will let you know whenever I go live on Twitch on Discord. Look at that. Have a good day, guys, with style and grace. Stay safe.